Cortes, and I'm a critic, and welcome back. We're continuing our NFL 2024 draft deep dive, team by team, and we are currently with the AFC West, and today we're talking about those Chargers from Los Angeles, the Los Angeles Chargers, under the new Harbaugh era. And is it too early to start thinking we're going to the playoffs? I'm asking for basically every Charger fan anywhere. So the Kansas City Chiefs, the Los Angeles Chargers had lots of questions with it. They had a depleted receiving core. They had a quarterback that many thought he was being neglected. He wasn't getting not so much the praise, but I feel like that, dude, you're wasting his opportunity, wasting his time. And a lot of that could be associated with ownership and coaching. But the Chargers probably went literally the most aggressive I've seen the Chargers been since making the move to Los Angeles from San Diego, and they got Harbaugh from Michigan. Whether they lured him, whether Harbaugh was already out, whatever conspiracy theory you want to put in that, they got Harbaugh back in California like he was when he was in San Francisco. And with everything going on with the Chargers, it felt almost as close to rebuild this team from the ground up as possible. And nothing to me screams more than a rebuilding a team besides drafting a quarterback, and that's drafting your protector of your quarterback. So, pardon me, with the 5th overall selection in the 2024 NFL Draft, the Los Angeles Chargers select Joe Alt, offensive tackle, Notre Dame. This makes too much sense. I know there were talks on Roma Doomsday to go in this, that the Chargers were in need of a wide receiver because the receiving core was completely depleted. But I think those that know Harbaugh know that offensive lineman and interior protection and running the ball is his bread and butter. Lots of bread and butter. So this almost made too much sense that when even the second I was watching it, and I said, I know a lot of mock drafts said Roma Doomsday right here, right now. Some even speculating that Brock Bowers, like an offensive weapon for Herbert, was obvious. But I couldn't help but look over and go, Joel makes too much sense not to get him right now. I'm serious. Joel makes too much sense. And when it happened, I wasn't as shocked as maybe some people were thinking. Maybe some Charger fans out there were thinking that the Chargers were going to get a receiver. But I think even the Charger fans' deepest heart would know we got probably one of the best offensive tackles for the next 10 plus years of our lives. We got potentially a Joe Thomas career stay location type offensive tackle. And the only difference between the Chargers and the Browns at that time is that the Chargers actually have a quarterback that have been proven time and time again. So now you got your insurance policy to protect your quarterback for potentially the next 10 years. And I feel like that was probably the smartest and, in my opinion, the easiest move. If somehow Joe Alt wasn't there, then maybe a Roman Doomsday would have been the most likely the next choice. But Joe was there, and they just said, let's stop wasting time. Let's get the best offensive lineman with no doubt in anyone's mind that he's the best, and let's protect our quarterback because we need to let everyone know in the West, especially the Chiefs, we're not messing around. At least I'm not messing around. So I'm taking the best one because we know you got a guy named Chris Jones there. So we need someone to try to counter that type of beast. Joe Alt to the Chargers makes too much sense, even though I understand the need for receiver. But don't you worry, Charger fans, because roughly, 2 picks after the first round, with the 34th selection in the 2024 NFL Draft, the Los Angeles Chargers selected Laden McConkey, wide receiver, Georgia. McConkey is a wide receiver that I can't help but feel like, was he really that good in Georgia? Is he really that good? And I'm not saying as anything disrespectful to this guy, even though some will take it as that. But when I heard that in some mock drafts he was going to be the Chiefs pick at the last pick, I was like, this guy, I know he was a contributor to the UGA's football seasons and national championship, but I always feel like, could this guy really be a first round pick? Granted, the last pick in the draft, but could this guy be a first round pick? Granted, there were some first round picks in this year's draft. I was like, Really? He was a first round pick? Okay. But it happens every year. But he got drafted at number 34. I'll make the argument that if you get drafted, before 40 or by 40, I will say that you were this close to be a first round pick. So you were this close to be a first round pick. There were just one or two players that probably were in desperate need of that position that they took, so therefore you got pushed because of that. But in a perfect mock draft world, you would have been a first round pick. So because it is the need of the Chargers, Wakonki is a now. It's now. They need receiver help already. So whoever they got was going to be a day one, receiver starter right away guy. So they got their newest receiver and they got their newest offensive tackle. And like I said, this feels very much like Harbaugh building the team in his image, whether it's San Francisco or whether it's with Michigan. He's building it in his image. And speaking of his image, I remember these are really good segue that I'm not really scripting. These are really good segues. With the, let's all be mature here, guys. With the 69th pick in the third round of the 2024 NFL Draft, the Los Angeles Chargers selected Junior Colson, linebacker, Michigan. And you got your linebacking captain that you have, trained and coached and admired and inspired and motivate and accomplish and conquer and devastate. Now you have another captain. You have a lot of young men coming to this team and you're saying starter, 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 starter. And nothing makes me feel confident, at least on paper, than getting a defensive player that you feel so confident that would be like, boom, you're in the lineup. Because now you have Joey Bosa, Khalil Mack, Asante Samuel Jr., Derwin James Jr., Denzel Perryman, and now you got Junior Colson. I feel like the Chargers have got their defense level of captains situated. The line, the linebackers, and defensive backs. I think you guys got it. Now we just gotta make it work. Make it work. And it's always kind of a nice story, even though it seems very Hollywood, to have a player that gets drafted by the coach that they just got coached like literally months before, and now they're saying, dude, I'm drafting you to join my new NFL team, and not as like a 7th round pick, like I want you because I believe in your hustle and will develop you. You are so important to our success, and now you're so important to this team. Welcome to our team, and congratulations to being an NFL player. And I think it's a nice, heartwarming story, so we'll see how quickly he grasps the NFL level, and we'll see that he will how quickly can he make an impact, but he also gets a now. He's a now. He's a now. Then, keeping with the sense of we go 2 offense, let's go more defense. With the 105th selection in the 4th round of the 2024 NFL Draft, the Los Angeles Chargers selected Justin Iboji, defensive tackle, Alabama. We're just gonna keep building that. I feel like when coaches that go from college to the NFL, I just feel like they're looking at player thinking, well, I couldn't recruit him, but I can draft him, I can sign him, and you just feel a little bit like, like the buffet is now open because now you're a VIP. Originally, like, dude, your section is that section of the buffet. But now you're an NFL head coach, you're thinking the buffet is open for all of it. And the best thing about it is you don't have to really negotiate. Be like, I pick you. Welcome to the team. I want you to join our team. Let me tell you why. At University of Michigan, we offer the great facilities for students that, no more recruiting. It's, I picked you. Come join our team. And if that does not scream, we want you, that's why we're drafting you, I don't know what else will tell a player that. But now you got a young defensive tackle coming into it. Now, he is projected to be the defensive end right behind Ponya Ford. So they run a 3-4 defense. I'm still worried. I'm not a fan of the 3-4 defense when you have a player like Joey Bosa. but it makes sense for someone like Khalil Mack. So I'm kind of conflicted on the scheme situation. So that's one thing I'm bothersome about it. But you're literally building this team with SEC defensive players, and if the stereotype of SEC defensive players make good NFL players were to continue, then I'm thinking you're on the right track on this front. He's definitely another now because I feel like the Chargers want to get that defense in rotation, obviously, and want to see the development of the scheme as quickly as possible. So I'm gonna give him a now sticker that he will probably get playing time contributing as early as week 1, and we'll see how he does on the line. Maybe he gets a starting job, maybe he gets some starting snaps here and there, but we'll see how quickly this defense, sync up with the veterans of here. Sticking with defense, with the fifth round, the 137 selection, the Los Angeles, the fifth selection. In the fifth round, with the 137 selection in the 2024 NFL Draft, the Los Angeles Chargers select Tarheeb Still, cornerback, Maryland. He gets a now sticker. I believe they need all the help they can get to help with rotation when it comes to Asante Samuel Jr. and Fulton. And I feel like that is the way they're going to go with this one. Because funny enough, later down the line, they also pick another corner who I also believe is going to be a now. But Tarheeb Still, which funny enough, I do not see his name in the NFL depth chart. I don't see his name anywhere on it. 3, 4, nothing, nothing like that. So I'm actually quite surprised by that, but I'm still banking the fact that he will be, in the rotation, probably behind Asante Samuel Jr. and getting some playing time, and hope and heaven forbid injuries not playing. But I feel like he will be contributing in nickel packet formation when it comes to multiple receiver sets on their opponents. Because 3 picks later, with the 140th selection in the 2024 NFL Draft, the Los Angeles Chargers select Cam Hart, cornerback, Notre Dame. Now that gentleman is projected to be the backup behind Christian Fulton in the right cornerback department. So if a guy who got picked after another corner, I can't help but make the conclusion that, well, if he's supposed to be the backup, then still has to be considered so much more of a value similar to Hart, that these two gentlemen are going to be now. They're going to be probably part of that 4, cornerback setup when it comes to nickelbacker formation, depending on the offensive schemes of going to a 4 receiver set or heaven forbid 5. So I feel like that's probably what he can be in rotation. Special teams contributor, but I am screaming that these are going to be players that are now. That's why they all get now stickers, because they need to help the Chargers now. Maybe not week 1 now, but definitely before week 8, we'll probably see them getting more attention. And who knows, maybe some, key situational playing time. It's a beautiful thing when it comes to when you have multiple corners and all looking to play, and Harbaugh is willing to let them play. So that was enough defense. Let's go back to offense now to conclude ourselves with 3 more picks, and we're in the 6th round now. With the 181st selection in the 2024 NFL Draft, the Los Angeles Chargers selected Kamini Vidal, running back, Troy. Now, I am sad that Ezekiel, Austin Eckler is no longer with the Chargers. I felt like that was the perfect team for a guy of his talent. But they do have Gus Edwards, and they do got J.K. Dobbins. Funny enough, both play for the Ravens, now they're both play for the Chargers, so I guess they both shared a plane ticket, I guess, in it. And Vidal is projected to be the 3rd one. Gus Edwards and J.K. Dobbins both have already had time. Veteran Gus Edwards is the go-to guy. J.K. Dobbins had an injury that plagued a lot of his early years of his career. Hopefully here in Los Angeles, he'll get back to it. With the amount of offensive lineman focus and then running back strategies that Harbaugh likes to do in Michigan, this feels like the ideal. Vidal might be that change of pace, quick feet, bright, fresh legs, coming in for more speed and quick outs. And we'll see his ability in the receiving game, which I feel like that reminds me a lot of Blake Chrome, who is now with the Los Angeles Rams, funny enough. So we'll see how well that does moving forward. But to me, this feels like another now. We'll see, maybe he's a change of pace, change gears from, the physicality of Gus Edwards and J.K. Dobbins, and have Vidal coming in with more of a speed around the corner, outrun people. So we'll see how valuable that goes into, but I feel like that is probably the direction they're going to go with in this one. So yeah, a guy from Troy is now going to be contributing to week 1. And now some little bit of fun. We have 2 more picks left. So in the 7th round, with a 225th selection, the Los Angeles Chargers select Brendan Rice, wide receiver, USC. Yes, Jerry Rice's son is now in the NFL. And funny enough, he got drafted by also a California-based team. So Rice is a Charger. Now, funny enough, he had more touchdowns from Caleb Williams last year than any other receiver. Take that, tidbit and note as you will. I mean, I'm just like, coincidence, cool. It's kind of funny that a lot of the receivers that helped Caleb Williams get to his, first overall pick selection, that I don't really hear a lot of the contributors getting the high marks for it. Because I always felt like receivers get a lot of credit because their quarterback is the one throwing them the ball. So sometimes I can see the argument that, well, you're not really good. It's because your quarterback is because why you're good at a wide receiver. I can see the argument there. But I mean, if this guy was the go-to guy for Caleb Williams for multiple touchdowns for USC and he got picked this late, there must be multiple factors that plagued into it. But I feel like, for the sake of this, I don't see Chargers are not really being choosers. I really doubt they picked him because they want, the popularity and the clicks, even though that pretty much makes Jerry Rice a Los Angeles Charger now, by default, that he'll probably go to more Charger games than Niner game. I'm putting him as a now because, like I said, the receiving department is depleted. So Rice, maybe having a father mentor him, discipline him, maybe could be the factor they need. So we'll see how much he'll be involved and how quickly him and Justin Herbert did. But I'll be lying by saying I am rooting for him to see him succeed because nepotism is a real thing in Los Angeles of all places. So we'll see how well that goes. But it'll be kind of nice to see, another a child of a Hall of Famer or just a child of an NFL player make it to the NFL and not just be like, I made it, and then he never heard from him again. So I'm looking forward to see what he does. Definitely looking forward to him in preseason because I feel like that's when we get more chance to shine. But I feel like he's also a now. And to shore up that receiving core with the last pick for the Chargers in the 7th round, the 253rd selection, the Los Angeles Chargers select in the 2024 NFL Draft, Cornelius Johnson, wide receiver, Michigan. So we end off with another wide receiver. And the fun thing about Johnson is that he joins a very depleted receiving corps. Same thing I said about Rice. The good news is Harbaugh has coached this man. So it's not like he's completely new. He just has a level of competition. I mean, Quentin Johnston is still here. They drafted him out of TCU and he didn't really wow anybody. So for all we don't know, there's no real number one. We can say it with confidence that you're number one. We're thinking, guys, number one is open. Somebody take it. And we have 3 young receivers, all with very strong resumes in their careers to make an argument for it. And for all I know, McConkey, Rice, and Johnson could be your starting 3 by week 1. We don't know what happens in camp. But I'm going to say because of the depleted receiver department, Johnson is definitely going to be a now for me, that he will make an impact because he has chemistry with Harbaugh and the receiving department is depleted. So he gets a now for me. It makes sense to, maybe you need someone you can trust more than, I need the best available. Well, he may not be the best available, but you know him and you're like, that might count for something. Hey, like they say to everybody in Los Angeles, it's who you know. I know the head coach of the Chargers. He was my coach in college. There you go. So, with all that and a technical mix-up in the halfway through this video, so I'll be fun to edit later. What do I give the Chargers a grade? They're not a threat to the Chiefs yet. Not yet. But they are better. They are better. And with the Joe Alt pick, I feel like they're saying we need to protect Herbert, because when Herbert went down, whatever was left of hope disappeared. Gone. So they're better. Could they sneak into the playoffs as a 6 seed, 7 seed? Yes. I can see that happening. But do I see him going to the conference championship? I don't. I don't see it not right now. But I'll be saying if they get 9 wins, 10 wins, and get into the playoff of the 7th seed, maybe do an upset. But right now, just get that close. Then that's how I'm feeling. With this players, I feel that. And next year might be more contender talk. But right now, in this first year, with everything associated, these players, all are now, by the way, all of them are now. We'll see what Harbaugh can do with all the magic he has up his sleeve. But yeah, that's the Chargers. 2 teams down, 2 to go. Now we're going to talk about not the losers, but the lesser talked about AFC West opponents. And we're going to talk about the third highly anticipated team in the AFC West. So next time we'll be talking about the Las Vegas Raiders, as another first-time head coach will get his first choice of his new players moving forward in his first year in the NFL as a head coach. So until next time, I'm Cortez, and I'm a critic. Thank you very much for watching.